With regards to what Defend Our Democracy would like to see from the president's address, whether it's dealing with infrastructure development or unemployment or load shedding, especially within the context of the final SONA of his administration, or at least this term of his administration, is less about what that grand plan is, but more about what have been the incremental gains that are real success stories for government that shows that change has been happening. So for infrastructure development, it's more about what are the investments that have been made, not just in infrastructure, but in logistics, and easing logistics. What has been the work to essentially rebuild since the unrest from a couple of years ago to build that confidence? What you wouldn't want to see is infrastructure purely for the idea of fiscal expansion, without a clear idea about what that expansion is intended to achieve. For unemployment, obviously, it's about what are the other mechanisms that government is really exploring outside of, youth employment programs. What is the general idea of kickstarting an economy to help create jobs? So at this particular point in time, we're still sitting at around 31% unemployment, maybe 32. And the question is is there a serious commitment to really get that number down? And does government know how to do it? And maybe an acknowledgement that, government isn't completely sure how to do it, but these are the mechanisms that we're utilizing. And I think giving an answer like that would be really beneficial for everyone involved. And for us, when it comes to load shedding, it's really about giving realistic, reasonable timelines around the crisis when it comes to load shedding. The worst thing for the president to do is to once again say that we have load shedding under control, which indeed you might, but the lived reality of South Africans is that they're still going through stages 2, 3, and who knows when you'll get stage 4. That the alleviation of load shedding shouldn't be the purchasing of more diesels to keep generators going. It should be really about what is the substantial increase in generative capacity within the country. A lot of the kind of inputs from the president over the last year and the Minister of Electricity has been about piecemeal increases to generative capacity. Nothing that would fundamentally move the dial. And it would also be good to hear about any sort of feedback around the repairs and the maintenance of Kusile to get Kusile functioning at an effective level. Right now, it's still functioning at a subpar level, whether it's Kusile or Mudupi. And I think really giving that tangible plan would be beneficial for all South Africans so that we all have a clear idea about what are the next steps. But it's unlikely for the president to commit to such a firm plan when his final speech, and it's something that you will most likely see from whoever is president, most likely the ANC, at the next State of the Nation address after the elections.